0 to 60 test. Go. Whoa, 60. Right, okay. There we have it. The nippy, tiny little Citroen. Right, well, what can I tell you about this car? Well, let's first of all start off by saying it doesn't have the irritating centerpiece in the steering wheel which happens in some Citroens, which stays perfectly still. The one with the great big fat airbag. Everything moves with this one, so 10 out of 10 Citroen for putting that one right in the end. Now, instrument cluster, totally free of obstructions, pretty easy to read. This car is quite stylish. It seems to me that Citroen are starting to get a bit more contemporary. Center console, bit cheap and tacky plastic, but it looks like brushed steel, I have to admit. Center console, very easily and very basically laid out. It's quite a stylish little vehicle. It's more of a feminine vehicle, I would say. The vision around the vehicle is excellent. Rear view is completely unobstructed. Great big screen at the front, which comes very high up. Will say that the side mirrors are way too low and way too far back. I don't quite understand the logic behind that. They need to go forward by about a foot and up by about 4 inches. But they are enormous and they do offer quite a lot of vision. But the thing is, you've got to turn your head about 3 inches to be able to see them. So that's a flunk. This is the automatic gearbox, and considering it's such a small engine, it does pull away quite nicely. You could nip down the motorway at 70 miles an hour in this, but I wouldn't fancy overtaking a lorry in the rain. This is a commuting vehicle. It's for nipping around town, nipping around the back streets and lanes of a village or a small city. For that, it would be perfect. I can quite easily imagine somebody nipping down the back streets of France, in Paris or wherever. Now, the steering's very light and very responsive, but for a small car, and this is a small car, there is an enormous amount of wobble to this car. You really would not want to chuck this around or do any emergency swerves, because I tell you what, this thing would turn over easier than one of those tiny little Mercedes. This is not a car to be thrown around. I don't think it's a very safe vehicle, and I certainly don't feel safe in it. But I will say it's a stylish little vehicle. It's very camp, but it drives along quite nicely. I think probably the manual would be a bit of a better option with a car like this, because small engines and automatic gearbox, that's always a bit of a no-no. Anybody who's thinking about buying one of these will have been drawn to it for its appearance. You know, there's nothing unusual about Citroens being a bit quirky, but to drive, it's actually a doddle. It zips along nicely, it's quite pleasant, and I can't really find anything wrong with it apart from these minor cosmetic things. The brakes on this are surprisingly very good. I thought they would be grabby, but they're not. You've got a very controlled, gradual application of the brakes. In fact, I'd give the brakes nearly a 10 out of 10. They are fantastic. Very impressed with those brakes. This is a great little car. If you like the styling, I don't think you'll be disappointed with the ride at all.